In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to scale a remote cleaning business. In my other content, I walk through, the steps you need to take to get started, set up the basics, but today's going to be how to grow. Okay. And I'll be talking about my experience, the lessons I learned from starting, scaling my business, the mistakes that I made, and really just getting into the nitty gritty. So I'll walk you through step by step. I created a little outline really fast. Um, First thing I want to talk about is your environment, your why. So, what is your environment like, and why are you actually doing this in the first place? Pretty simple. So, my environment at the time, I was in college, right? Prior to starting this, I was in college studying computer science, and I took a semester off. I took a semester off because I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. My friends were in college as well. My family wanted me to pursue that. But in my gut, deep down, I knew I could make something work out. And that's when I took a semester off. I was living at my parents' house and working jobs every single day, just labor jobs to save up money and start a business. I already had this idea in the back of my head for a while. I just had to save up so I could actually execute it properly. So I stacked money up, lived at home, and of course, in that situation, like had a good path, had a good journey ahead of me, but decided to completely stop. There was a little bit of doubt, and I had to make sure I went into a little bit of an isolation period because you don't need people telling you whether it's a good or bad idea. You just need to know deep down what you want to do and your why. And for me, my why was pretty simple. I needed it to work out. It wasn't like maybe this will work or I just want to try this out. No, I needed this to work out. And looking back now, I think that benefited me more than anything else could. Just that drive, that hunger. I'm still hungry now, but I don't think I've ever been as hungry as when I first started this business. And that's what really drove me. So figuring out the root cause, like what is your why? Because if it's just, just because, probably not going to be motivated enough to have any success. What is your environment like? Who do you surround yourself with? What are you actually doing day to day, consuming? It's also really important. What is your support system like? If the people around you are constantly telling you how bad of an idea your business or decisions are, that's going to kill any chance you had of success. This creates small slivers of doubt, and doubt will compound fast. It'll creep in your mind. And once that doubt gets in there, it's really hard to change that. And I just want to tell a quick story. Mahik, somebody I worked with and helped him build his remote cleaning business. When he started, okay, he asked his coworkers for reviews. He worked at a restaurant and asked them to leave him, a 5-star review, help him get things moving. Of course, they did. They helped him out. The second that Mahik had success with the business and was finally able to quit his job at the restaurant and focus on the business full time, guess what? His coworker changed the review from a 5-star to a 1-star just out of, I don't know, pettiness, spite. It's weird. It's weird. People do not always have your best interests. I promise you they don't. And even if they do, even if, they're your family, they love you, they have, your best interests at heart, their belief systems will be a little bit different than an entrepreneur. Unless they are an entrepreneur, then their belief system will 100% be different. Because if they truly believed that starting a business was the best approach or the best chance of success or the best thing to do, then chances are they would probably own a business. Be very intentional about who you listen to, who you take advice from, and who you allow close to you. So, just to give some context, this is how I did my first month with my remote cleaning business. So, first month, we did $17,839 in revenue. And you can see on my processor in Stripe as well, same date. The month before, we processed $812. So I started like April 28th and booked for a couple days. But let me show you what that looks like. I actually have it here in Stripe. It's a little bit small because of my recording, but I can show you what that looks like. May 1st to May 30th, process that amount. And then I also have the calendar as well. So if you can see here, I have my Stripe and I have my booking log. This is Booking Koala. This is where we book all the cleans. And this is what my first month in business looked like. So not bad. It was a pretty decent calendar. For me, it was a huge step forward compared to what I was making at my jobs because while actually doing this, I was working multiple jobs. I was still working at the warehouse. I was still serving and I did this with my business. And that's just to show what's possible. I'm not saying that you're going to achieve this. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying you're going to do this first month. I don't know how driven you are as a person. I'm telling you that the probability may be low because I was extremely driven. I wanted it extremely bad. I needed it to work out, and that translated into the amount of effort I put in, the actions I took. Just want to preface by saying that I have had others. Vincent actually surpassed me. He did over $20,000 his first month with his remote cleaning company. But Vincent is also a hard worker, works extremely hard, and yeah, every individual circumstance is different. Everybody will try a different amount, will put a different amount of effort in, and that's going to be huge in dictating the actual result you get. And also the actions you take, how you decide to scale your company will also dictate that. So don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this as I'm guaranteeing you'll make this much. No, I'm not saying that. Actually, quite the opposite. Simplicity scales. This is a lesson I had to learn really early on. And now this t-shirt that I'm wearing, this black t-shirt, I wear it every single day. So not this specific one, like not the exact same one, but I have 10 of the same t-shirt that I wake up and put it on, right? Reduce the amount of decisions I have to make, keep it simple. And I do that all throughout my businesses and in life as well. So I wear the same thing every day and I essentially eat the same thing every day as well. Like every once in a while, I'll go out, get some food with friends. But I prep my food, so I'll eat like ground beef, rice, steak, also chicken, and then some veggies as well. And that's pretty much it. So I stick to the same thing, have it ready, I prep it. It's quick, it's easy, I don't have to think about it. Same thing in business as well. The more complicated you make things, the harder it is to stay consistent, move fast, and scale. And this is something I see a lot of beginners early on in their entrepreneurial journey do is they just overcomplicate everything. But I was so delusional in my self-belief. I was so delusional that I thought it was easy. And that was my belief system. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be easy. This is all I have to do. And that got me the result that I achieved. Um, but if I would have thought this is impossible, I have to set up all these systems first, probably would have changed the result that I got. So simple systems scale, complex ones break. It's an important lesson. And cleaning with a cleaning company, it is just the fulfillment model. Cleaning is just how we fulfill the job. Okay. Cleaning is our fulfillment model / service. It is not what we do. I want you to even erase the fact that you are running a cleaning company. Just erase it from your brain, wash it, right? As a cleaning business owner, your job is exclusively marketing and sales, right? That's all we're focused on. The reason why we choose cleaning, or at least the reason why I chose cleaning, was because low barrier to entry. I didn't have a ton of capital to buy product or lose, right? I just didn't. It's pretty simple to build and scale, right? Just run local SEO, local marketing, and you're targeting a local market. You're not competing with everybody in the world, okay? So it's a lot simpler. And that's why I chose cleaning, but it's just a fulfillment model. And the price of cleaning it, I mean, it can get quite expensive, which is also, a good benefit. I wouldn't have been able to make this much if I was selling a $10 product, right? I would have had to sell thousands of them. Um, so before you start your business, I want you to understand that it is your moral obligation to give your contractors as much work as possible. They're relying on you. Give them as much work as possible, help as many people as possible. And then the money is a byproduct of that. So if you're able to fill these contractors' calendar, if you're able to help these clients out, help them achieve the result they're looking for in making their space clean, feel better, then you'll be rewarded. It's a very simple equation. Okay. So here's what to focus on. If you are under 30K per month, and I would even argue under 50K per month, this is what you need to focus on. If you're under 30K per month, aside from hiring contractors, you should really only be focused on marketing, which is getting your company in front of eyeballs / ears, in front of as many people as possible, and selling, booking cleans on the calendar. That's it. That's all you should be focusing on, marketing and selling. Of course, you have to hire the contractors, but really you can block off 1 day a week, set up those interviews, knock them out. Very simple. But the marketing, the sales should be all you spend your time on. I see so many people, especially actually even experienced operators, wasting so much time on these different systems, automations, and they never grow. I referenced this one video, and there's a guy who did 20,000 revenue his first year, but he had the most extreme systems I've ever seen in my life. When I first started, I had some basic systems, but really I was just hammering out these sales calls, following up with customers, booking as many as possible, and marketing as much as I could, just getting my company out there, talking to everybody, using as many platforms as I could. I was really just like, how do I make as much money as I can? And it worked. You should be selling and marketing. That's super important. And if you're not doing these two things, you're not working on the highest leverage tasks in your business, right? And that also goes for hiring somebody to sell for you. So if you're already at that, 20K plus mark, hire a sales rep. You can hire a VA, but turn them into a sales rep. Make sure that they know how to close, and then always be trying to improve your marketing and get more and more clients. So in terms of how to market for a cleaning business, so what I actually do, there are two options. One, organic, which is free marketing, doesn't cost any money, and then there's also paid. So I'll go through some examples of what that actually looks like, how I use that as well. First of all, I have a girl post in groups for me. I don't personally post myself. I used to, but a girl gets a lot more traction. People want to support, a college girl. So first of all, I want to show you a generic post. We made a generic post, Happy New Year. May this year be full of homes to clean. Here's a before and after from the other day. And it got 0 likes, no likes, no comments. Anytime we say, hey, we own a cleaning service, book at this number, guess what? No likes, no comments. Rightfully so. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to see you self-promoting in these groups. So local groups are really great, especially when you're first starting off and even when you're experienced, because they're very personal, but you have to make the post personal. So this is what we did here. She put, were those fireworks or gunshots, question mark. And if you know how Nextdoor works and people are always posting random stuff like this, they have nothing better to do besides sit on Nextdoor and comment about what's happening in the community. I don't understand it, but it helps us. So were those fireworks or gunshots? And then saying, JK, just wanted to introduce myself. Hey, I'm not new to the area, but new to the Nextdoor app. Happy to be part of the fam. Looking forward to new friends / opportunities. By the way, I run a small cleaning business. People want to support small cleaning companies to get me through nursing school. Just, innocent college girl, not a big company making a ton of money, just a small business. Any support is greatly appreciated. So it's all about how you frame it. That's the most important thing when you're doing organic marketing. If you sound like every other cleaning company out there, then you're going to get results like every other cleaning company. And this post alone, it got 34 reactions on it. Those 34 reactions might not sound like a lot, but when it comes to Nextdoor, it's very targeted, it's very local, and we're doing this multiple times per day. And this alone got us commercial walkthroughs. This got us really good partnerships with property managers and got us some residential cleans as well, just by posting over and over again. And the same people who are there all day will see your face over and over again and book. Brian, somebody I worked with to scale his company as well, he grew, I believe 12K per month is when he started running ads. So he grew to 12K per month exclusively with Nextdoor groups. And also Facebook has groups as well. But again, I can show you like what an average post look like. So when we post and have decent copy, so decent text on the screen, you can see we got 2.6K views in the first 48 hours. And if you're doing that 4 times a day, it doesn't really affect your reach. You can post as much as you want. That's one organic strategy. And also posting content on your social media, same ones that we use every single day. So Instagram and Facebook are huge. Angelo, if you want to shout out Angelo real quick, if you want to visit his profile, Angelus_services, I think he does this better than almost any company that I've seen before. He has a solid following, he posts consistently, and the content is high quality, engaging, and gets him leads. Angelo right now is at 50K per month with his residential only. I don't think he does any commercial, with his residential cleaning company. And it's exclusively from Instagram. So take a look at this. It's very achievable. You don't always have to spend a ton of money on SEO services or anything like that. You just need to get creative with it and find a way. And he found a way. So shout out to Angelo. Okay. So now let's get into the paid marketing breakdown, right? And also, when it comes to organic, there's a few ways you can do it. Posting content is one way. Outreach is another, and there's multiple ways to post content, whether that's in groups, on your social media page, even forums, okay? But when it comes to doing organic outreach, that could be cold email, that could be walking into actual businesses, going door to door, stuff like that. You can do yard signs as well, or you can cold call. Those are all like examples of outreach. I don't really do that much outreach anymore at this point. It's mostly inbound, and content I think is higher leverage because you're in front of a bunch of eyeballs. But that would classify as organic marketing. And of course, you can pay. So you're paying, depending on the platform, you're either paying per click, paying per view, or you're paying per lead. So when you actually get a call or a text, then you'll be charged for that. So I want to walk through the different options, the pros and the cons. Google local service ads, essentially that's when somebody looks up cleaning near me. If you look up cleaning near me, cleaning in whatever area, Google local service ads will help bump your company to the top. The only issue with that is it takes some time to warm up. You need some reviews. I would recommend trying to get to 50 reviews as fast as you can so you can rank higher on local service ads. You need quality photos, but if you can do that, it's a pretty solid channel, a little bit higher on the price side of things, but it's quality. Thumbtack, never set an unlimited budget on Thumbtack unless you want to burn money. It's just don't do it because they'll run up a budget with some lower quality leads. Set your competitiveness on Thumbtack to the lowest setting. And once your weekly budget is maxed out, I recommend increasing it by $1 at a time. If you're unfamiliar, on Thumbtack, you have a weekly budget to run these ads. It's very easy to set up a profile. And once your budget's maxed out, typically you don't get any more leads. But what I recommend, so you're getting leads for the cheapest available price and it can balance some of that other ad spend, is every time, let's say your budget is $45 for the week, when you hit $45, increase your budget by $1, and now you can get leads for $1 and continue to increase it by $1 every time it maxes out. And that'll give you almost free bookings that are relatively warm and high intent. You can get very cheap leads this way. Speed to lead is everything on Thumbtack. So my recommendation to actually have success and book with it is you need to send a pre-made message immediately. And that's because it's the nature of it. People are, messaging multiple companies that are on the Thumbtack app and trying to get quotes, etc. So the faster you can send a pre-made message, what happens is their number pops up on there. So you'll see their number, just dial it as quickly as you can and try to get it booked. That's exactly what I do. That's what's worked really well. Meta ads, they work really well, but success is 100% based on your creative. Creative will dictate everything, and retargeting ads work best for warmer leads. So with Meta, if it's not working for you, it's literally just the video that you have or the static ad that you have. You need to test until you find one that works because it's not a matter of whether Meta ads work. They work. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of businesses that run on the Meta platform every day. And we're seeing results, $10 to $15 per lead. And then Instagram boosting. This is actually kind of a hidden method because it's very simple and it works. Because we're not taking them off of the Instagram platform, we're able to get leads for extremely cheap. Okay, so if you have a reel, it needs to be a very specific reel, but if you have a reel that's engaging, the goal is you boost the post and you can select what you want. So go for DMs so that they can quickly click it and DM you. Okay, you're gonna talk in the DMs and get their info there. So their phone number, their email, and close them on a phone call. So why does this work so well? Because they'll DM you, but oftentimes they'll also follow you. And if they follow you, maybe they don't buy right away. Maybe they don't want to book a clean in this current moment, but they're going to be seeing your content every single day, seeing what you post on your Instagram. They're going to be seeing, your story as well. And eventually when they're ready, then they'll message you again and then book. You'll notice you get a lot of website submissions on your website by running these ads just over time, and it kind of compounds a lot. It's very simple to do as well, and we're seeing really low cost per lead. I'm talking $1 to $5 per lead. They're gonna be a little bit lower intent, but if you have the sales ability, then you can actually close them on that call. Then Google pay-per-click. It's often the most expensive, shouldn't be your first option, and it's best used when you're maximizing omnipresence. If you're unfamiliar with what omnipresence is, what do I mean by that? It's like, let's say you look up a product online and you start seeing it everywhere. So you see them on Facebook, and then you open up your Instagram, you see them on Instagram, and you see them on your Google as well. That's omnipresence. The more you see something, like, I'll give an example, these comfort hoodies. I've been seeing comfort hoodies everywhere. So I see them on my TikTok, running ads, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my Google. I just see them everywhere. right? And then I ended up buying one because I was like, okay, I might as well try it out. So when somebody looks up, cleaning, then they'll just start seeing you everywhere. And it works really well, but it's expensive. So it shouldn't be your first option. And it should really only be used when you're trying to, maximize the amount of channels that you have your company on. So people see you everywhere. Yelp, I recommend using the free credit. You get 1 month free when you first start to run ads. After that, I mean, if you had success that first month, continue running it as long as it's obviously profitable. Otherwise, wouldn't highly recommend it. It's kind of okay. All right, now let's get into the sales mindset necessary to have success with this business. When I first started, I was booking a majority of my cleans, and we still book majority to this day. But there's a lot of people who struggle with actually booking clients in because getting leads for your cleaning company should be easy. It shouldn't be hard. There's so many places to find leads. This market, the cleaning market, just has demand like I've never seen as much demand for any service, any product ever before. Um, so really, it's all about the sales and whether they're going to go with you or another service, because at the end of the day, they still need it. So remove money from your mind. Be detached from money, detached from the outcome, and go into every sales conversation with the intention of helping the other person and watch how everything changes. If you go in with commission breath, if you're attached to the outcome, if you need that booking, then they're going to sense that. But if you're trying to help them and you need them to understand the value of your service and how it will change their situation, that's when everything starts to work out in your favor. 75% of the sales process, it's all about your perspective, right? Sales is not slimy in this business. You are not being pushy or annoying. And by not selling and by not helping them understand the value of your service, you are going against your moral obligation as a confident business owner. If you know that you have a service that is valuable, that can actually help someone, and you're allowing them to move on without understanding how much it could help them, then you are doing yourself a disservice. And I truly believe that. And that belief helps me have success, right? Booking and follow up. First of all, I want to say if you don't believe your service is helpful, if you don't believe it's worth the price that you're charging people or anything like that, you're going to go into the conversation believing that. It's going to dictate how you explain it. It's going to dictate what you allow. For example, if somebody says, "Yeah, I'm not too sure. It seems expensive. I need to think about it." A lot of the times, all that means is, "Hey, I don't see the value in your service specifically." And a lot of the times, when I talk to cleaning company owners who come to me for advice, I ask them, like, what separates your company from other companies? Or why would anybody want to even book with you? A lot of times they have no idea. So if you don't even understand why you would go with your service, or if you don't even think your service is valuable, then why would anybody else want to use your service? Okay. Booking and follow up. Ideally, book them on that initial call. That's where they have the highest intent. They're probably searching for it or filling out an application, and that's when you should try to book them in. Worst case scenario, tell them they can schedule to save that spot, remind them they can cancel later on, and always collect their name, their email, and their phone number. This is crucial because if we want to follow up, want to send them, texts or call them, it also allows us to send emails as well. And with email, I recommend sending value dense emails. So don't pitch in the emails. Don't say, "Hey, do you want to book now? Are you ready to book at this time?" No, we send value. So we send reasons why they should go with us. For example, you can send, a reason why somebody else went with us and why it worked out. So here's, you know, anybody. And here's why she went with our company. Here's why she was happy with it and why she chose us over the other options. Here's why you need a clean in the first place. So these are the benefits of having a clean space and using a cleaning service. Here's the amount of time it would save you with the cleaning service. These are things that, one, they don't feel like they're getting pitched, but it's subconsciously selling them into going with your service because it'll stay at the top of their mind. Most of the time, when they say they want to think about it or move on, they just go ahead and they forget about your business. That's all they're doing. So those emails keep it top of mind. And the phone, if you're confident, I would highly recommend just reaching out and saying, "Hey, is this Todd? Hey, Todd, this is Jaden with," and then move on and get right in the conversation. Just wanted to follow up about it. I would actually avoid using the word follow up. Just wanted to go ahead and continue with our conversation yesterday. I know you said you wanted this done early next week. We're actually getting pretty booked out right now. We're almost booked up for next week. So I just wanted to give you a quick courtesy call, see if that was still something you wanted to get set in stone before we're unable to take that job. And then it completely shifts the dynamic because now you're trying to help that person, right? You're calling them as a friend, just letting them know, hey, this spot is almost taken. If you want to go with our service, then now would be the best time. It's like a subtle reminder. Okay. It's important, never pitch in the emails, only sell through SMS or phone, and you'll have a lot more success with sales. So that's a quick summary of some of the lessons that I learned when scaling my remote cleaning business. Hopefully, this was helpful. And if you're interested in learning more or working directly with me one on one, partnering up to build one of these businesses, I'll throw a link in the description. We can hop on a call and see if it's potentially a good fit.